Hi everyone, my name is Liana Castro, and today I will be presenting on the case Weeks versus United States. So the court that actually petitioned to be for there to be a hearing from the Supreme Court was the Federal District Court. This case was actually decided on February 24th, 1914. So the facts of Weeks versus United States was that officials arrested Weeks without a warrant in his workplace. In the midst of all of this happening, another cop entered the home of Vermont Weeks and held onto documents, which would then be utilized to convict him of moving lottery tickets through the mail. Like I said before, the arresting of Weeks and even the going into his home and getting papers, all of this was done without a court order. So, because of this, Weeks was allowed to petition and make a move against police officers for his confidential belongings to be returned. So the legal issue in this case is whether or not the search and seizure of Weeks abused the Fourth Amendment. The reasoning for Weeks versus United States, the court um the court decided um that the Fourth Amendment was violated in this case. Intrusion of an individual's home by public authority without a warrant isn't allowed. So, therefore, it did violate the Fourth Amendment, which is our right to be protected from search and seizures, unlawful search and seizures. Under the Fourth Amendment, government officials are under such impediments and limitations in the activity of their power and authorities as to perpetually get the individuals, people, their houses, and their belongings, such as papers, let's per se, clothes, anything, and it impacts against unreasonable search and seizures dishonestly. The holding of Weeks versus United States was a unanimous choice. So for this, the court held that the seizure of Weeks's things that was obtained from Weeks's home straightforwardly disregarded his established constitutional rights. Additionally, the court held that the public's authorities' refusals to return Weeks's belongings disregarded the Fourth Amendment. To permit private reports to be seized and afterwards held as proof against a defendant would have implied that the protection of the Fourth Amendment, pronouncing the option to be secure against such search and seizures, would not be of no worth at all. So, because of this case, this was the main use of what ultimately became known as the exclusionary rule. So, the result of Weeks versus United States was that the court ruled that the police did not violate Weeks's Fourth Amendment, and the court reversed and remanded the case. While the court's perspective was not implied into this, through the assessment and reading the articles, it suggests that the proof held on to disregarding the Fourth Amendment shouldn't have been utilized against the defendant, which is Weeks, for this situation. So that is the end of my presentation. Here are my references, and thank you so much for listening.